Hey, Trader Steven here with TradersPlan.com. It is Friday, September 24th. Let's look at the market real quick and then we'll look at the top ETFs of the week. We'll look at a few things. So, looking at the NASDAQ right here, obviously everybody knows we had a major gap down on Monday, and then the market has really bounced right back the last 2 days. NASDAQ has had back-to-back days up over 1%. The market's down about 0.7% pre-market. There's still a lot out there. We don't know what's going to go on. We don't know if this is a shakeout, and we don't know if we're going to get that other leg down. The NASDAQ did barely close above the 20-day moving average yesterday, but we're kind of at a point where that could easily fail. So we'll see if it gets rejected or not and gets hit back down. Where the market closes today and really opens on Monday is going to be the key, because obviously a lot could happen over the weekend with this Chinese developer. I think that's going to really be what's moving the market. So whatever news, could be really good. I'm struggling to believe that China would just completely let this blow up, but maybe they would. I don't know. So we'll just kind of wait and see. Right now, the NASDAQ is on shaky grounds, but it could be coming back. The S&P 500, and you can see, and I meant to show this on the NASDAQ, looks like a weekly reversal pattern right there. Now, it would need to close in about the same range today. It couldn't be down today, so the pattern hasn't completed, but if it were to close as of right now, then that would be a weekly reversal pattern, given a little bit more volume on Friday. So that would be a bullish sign in the overall market. And if I continue to look on the weekly chart, like, a break below the trend line and then a reversal back above it, that's bullish to me all day. But we still have to wait and see where Friday closes, and we'll take it day by day. But again, I think a lot could possibly happen over the weekend with China, and I think that's what's going to move the market. So was it last week or the week before? Nope, it was last Friday. I was talking about some of these energy ETFs are looking really strong, and I'll change to what was really up for the week. You can see this FCG, this nat gas ETF. It sold off Friday, Monday for sure, just like everything else, but it came right back. And look, and there's some above average buying in there. This looks pretty bullish to me. You have a cup with handle breakout, and the breakout above the 50-day moving average. So last week I was drawing this line, say, hey, it's breaking out, right? This looks pretty good. This is a buy, and then we got it's shaken out. And it came right back. So even if you bought last week, your stop loss shouldn't have been hit, because it held that 50-day moving average, and now is looking pretty strong. Again, we'll see what the market does, but right now the best looking stuff I still think is energy, just because it tried to fail and it came right back, and there's above average volume. So FCG is still looking pretty good. Let's kind of start at the top here of what has been the strongest of the week. These away stocks, you have the Ubers, you have the Airbnb, kind of these travel stocks. This is a pretty good looking ETF, and I could draw a downtrend right here. You could draw it right here, but I'm probably not going to play off that. If I'm looking for something like this, there was some really nice volume lately. Yesterday on Thursday, some nice outperformance, but I want to see a little bit more. If the market pulls back, I want to see something like this, and then a breakout above Thursday's high, because it looks like the market's pulling back today. A breakout above Thursday's high, I think that would be your entry, with the potential stop down here, or even a tighter one right here. So that looks pretty good. PPLT Platinum, this is in a downtrend, so even though it has popped this week, it's still in a downtrend. It hasn't broke out of any downtrend or anything like that. So from the looks of it, because the market is reversing, I'm throwing on the weekly chart, all these ETFs, and obviously a lot of stocks too, they're going to look like weekly reversal patterns. Now again, we need to see where Friday closes, because some of these the pattern will not hold up, right? Because you need 5 full days. But a lot of them are looking bullish on the weekly chart, and we'll see. I mean, this kind of looks pretty bearish on the daily chart. So I think there's better stuff out there than PPLT because gold and silver is looking pretty ugly. Right here you have IEO. I actually did buy some of this last week because it was breaking out above this little inverse head and shoulders pattern, broke out, stop, didn't get hit, and then it continued to break out. So, and it continued to hold the line and is looking pretty strong. So this one's looking really good right here. It's starting to get a little bit extended. Look at the relative strength line that's really rising. And sometimes, you know, when you buy a breakout or you buy something, you say, hey, that chart looks good. You got to pick a point on the chart and say, okay, if I'm going to buy it right here, for this trade to hold, it shouldn't fall below 50. It shouldn't fall below this line right here. And that's exactly where I put my stop. And it came close on Monday, but didn't get triggered, and it bounced right back. That's why I talk about the importance of, if the market's selling off and everything's looking ugly, don't go out and sell all your stocks because they might hang in there. And I don't know if this is gonna, you know, go to the moon or not. But if you go out and sell everything just because you're scared about some China news on the market, then or on the TV, it's going to be tough. Trust me, I did that early in my trading day. So IEO, I did buy some last week. FCG, this is looking pretty good. With the stop loss under here, it probably pull back to 15. We'll keep an eye on the overall market. You know, this has really been interesting, this 50 IBD 50 index, because not all growth stocks have been up, but I mean, this right here, you can see, I was talking about this ETF a couple weeks ago where it's really weird that the market is kind of struggling a little bit, and yet this growth index is going higher. Now, this is just a basket of 50, so this isn't the overall market, but this one is looking pretty strong right here. I'd probably wait for a pullback on this one, see what the market does today before loading up on growth. Oil refiners, the chart looks the same. You'll see in a lot of these energy ETFs, the chart looks the same, right? You have this little inverse head and shoulders pattern, or I could call it a cup with handle pattern. Either way, this one broke out yesterday, so it's looking pretty good in my opinion, with just a stop under Monday. They might pull back. Now, energy has the potential to buck the market trend, but it's not. I mean, if the market's selling off, these are stocks. Okay, so they're gonna go down. Cannabis stocks, they look ugly as sin. Like, they had a good week, they had a good day, but this is still in a downtrend. It's like the PPLT. Like, I can make the claim that this is a weekly reversal pattern. So you could say, hey, this would probably be the place to enter, but we don't know what's going to happen today. And you've had a lot of failures, a lot of attempted rallies, and a lot of failures. So I prefer, if it reversed at the 200-day moving average or the 40-week and came right back, I'd say that's a really good pattern. But the fact that it is just so far down, yes, eventually it will stop. But I think there's better stuff out there. I think the risk reward is not good. MLPs are looking pretty good too. Another energy play. You can see that I talked about the weekly reversal patterns at the long-term moving average. Look at this right there. Now, this ETF has to hold up today on Friday for this reversal to hold, but you have a weekly reversal pattern right there, right at the long-term moving average is what I was talking about. So failure to fail equals strength. It's looking like it wants to break out of this line right here. So either way, this is looking pretty good, but these will sell off if the market does sell off. So just keep that in mind. So energy continues to dominate the top, just like it did last week. So we always talk about strength follows strength, weakness follows weakness. And sometimes 1 week isn't a trend, but when you start to see some of these industries that are getting in the top 10 back-to-back weeks or 2 out of 3 weeks or something like that, that's really, really worth paying attention to. So on the flip side, you can see, this is one chart I wanted to show you. Bitcoin is getting hammered pre-market, and this is the Bitcoin Trust. This isn't the Bitcoin futures, but this is a ugly looking chart, right? It's starting to be rounded, and it's going to gap down this morning. So it is reasonable to assume, given the volatile nature, that this was, kind of a a bear flag breaking down and could test these lows. So be cautious on any crypto. It was looking good right here. For the moment, it tried to break out. Here, I'll show you. Right, I talk about fail to fail equals strength. A failed breakout and it starts to go the other way. It could be an above average move the other way. So it looked good right here. You had a reversal day, tried to break out again. Momentum slowed, and now it's about to gap down completely the other way. So I mean, this is Bitcoin. Is that when you swing trade these are never buy and hold. You definitely need to be using stop losses and stuff like that. So, and just to show you what was, really the weakest of the, I talk about PPLT, I'd be cautious because gold and silver miners are looking ugly. This is silver miners right here looking incredibly ugly. I mean, it's a bad chart. I don't want any part of it. There's just better stuff out there. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.